episode 10. We've only gone and done 10 episodes.
I know.
Who are we?
Actually, tell you, we've recorded more than 10 episodes, but that's the beauty of being amateur podcasters who record it in their house on like cheap ass Amazon microphones. There's nothing about audio quality or sounding or mastering or anything. You have to record a lot of shit before you actually put it online.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's the beauty of editing ourselves. We're in charge of what you get to listen to.
Would you have thought last year, sans pandemic, that you'd be 10 episodes deep into recording your own podcast?
No. But I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're doing it.
Yep.
This is Style Over Substance, by the way. You've got to follow us on Instagram. We've survived this far. Style Over Substance Pod. And then give us an email. Come on. We're loving hearing from you guys. Not gonna lie, it's mainly people we know. So you strangers out there, we know there's some of you in Germany. Shout out.
We're gonna start targeting people who like pop up on our analytics. Be like, "Oi, you! We can see you listening."
Where's the 5-star rating?
I have I've now got a laugh track, so I'm gonna insert that now.
Or like a little hooray!
Yeah, like an intro to a 90s sitcom.
Oh, I love it. I loved the canned anything, basically.
Yeah, canned laughter, applaud. Yeah, all of that.
Love it. Amazing.
So episode 10, we thought, anniversary episode, as Scarlett mentioned, we would do like a rundown of 10 of our favourite things. Mm-hmm. We've got different areas and aspects of like fashion, shopping, things that we most love in our wardrobe, things fashion related that we like to watch. And we just thought this would be a fun way of kind of like getting to know us a little bit more, getting to know each other a little bit more, because I don't think we've ever discussed any of this stuff before, Scarlett.
I don't think we have, actually. So yeah, no. I'm interested to see your answers. Yeah.
Let's get into it. So we have a list, but I'm going to scramble the list to make it a bit more interesting. Let's start with our favourite item in our wardrobe.
Ooh. Yeah. This was tough. This was really tough. So I've gone through the route. Am I American? The route. I watch too much American TV.
I know.
Wow. I went down the route of what I've worn the most and what has probably brought me the most sort of like joy. I don't know.
Cost per wear.
Yeah, a little bit cost per wear, a little bit. I'm really glad I own them, so much so that I've actually bought like a replacement. So they're a pair of Nike Air Force Ones. They're black, but the tick's got like a little iridescent lining around it, and I love them. You get loads of compliments on them. I love Nike Air Force Ones. I find them really comfy, and they're kind of like a classic, but with a little twist. And I wore the first pair to death. Like they look so scraggly that I've managed to find like another pair on Depop.
Oh God!
Because I really need these to be in my life for forever. So
that's the thing with shoes. I like shoes that look pristine.
Yeah.
They can get a little bit worn in, but I don't want them to be too worn in. And that's the thing with shoes. It only takes a few wears for them to start looking a little bit tired, especially when you love them.
Yeah.
Like the creases here and there and like the dirt and stuff. Oh God, it creeps up really quickly. And I know trying to find them on Depop required some searching.
Oh, it did. Because they're a difficult, like, they're not an easy one to find. But I'm also I think what this has led me to want to do, and I don't do it because it feels really wasteful to do it at the time, but I need to start like almost realizing what my classics are, because there are always those shoes you wear, like I've got certain shoes, and like you said, I've now got like a pair of like Adidas trainers that are like absolutely just look really ragged, and like when they're brand new they look really nice and they can look smart, but they can also look casual, but now they look ragged, they just look like I'm a tramp. So I feel like sometimes you need to be like, I'm gonna wear these loads, let's get that second pair like ready, but it just feels really stupid to do it at the time, but
no, you need to. It's true.
Advice. What about you?
Okay, so mine is not clothing, but it's an accessory. And initially, like when I was going through like just thinking of what do I love in my wardrobe the most, if I'm honest, I love most of the stuff in my wardrobe.
That's good.
But there's this one item that I use every day, and that I bought it, and every time I pull it out my bag, it makes me smile. It sounds ridiculous, but I pull it out my bag and I use it, and I'm like, I'm so glad I have you in my life. And it's not even that big of a deal, but it's I have a Gucci card case, and I bought it. I was leaving a job and I bought it for myself. And it's like the classic, I don't know, the monogram.
Yeah, the monogram.
And it's got dark brown leather around the edge, and like the classic Gucci, like green and red stripe or something. And I use it all the time. I have like the card that I use the most in it, my driver's license. And I just love it. Like, I love it. It's ridiculous. It's small, but it brings me, and I've had it for like 2 years now. It brings me nothing but joy. So that is my item.
So do you think you would rebuy it if it went missing or got really dirty? Do you think you would rebuy something like that? Or do you think like because of what it represents almost, it's kind of, that's the part that makes it your favourite?
Oh, it doesn't have sentimental value. I think I'd be pissed off. Would I another one? Yeah, you know what? I might, because it's the only card holder that I have. My other two purses are like purses, you know, so it's not the same thing. It's like if I had a tiny bag and I was going out, I would need something smaller. So yeah, I would definitely rebuy it. Yeah. Next one. Okay, so we've done our favorite item in our wardrobe. Let's go for,
she's doing a pick and mix, guys.
Yeah, I have I have a list, but I'm trying to scramble it. Okay, favorite designer.
Oh, okay. So I know we're all expecting for me to say Chanel. And it is, of course, Chanel. But I want to say a designer that's not. And and actually, like, if I wanted to own like a couture dress from anywhere, it would probably be this brand. And we both used to love this brand in school. And it's kind of like, it's always stuck with me. I absolutely love Ellie Saab. I would love to work for them. Their dresses are something else. And also, like, considering there's a style to Ellie Saab and there's this embellishment. They churn out new designs, but you still know when something's, I love them. They make, like, their shows make me happy. So that's my choice. My choice is, I think this was probably one of the hardest questions for me, because I don't know. I really don't know. But a brand that I always seem to gravitate towards, and I think it's because they are just like granny chic. It's like retro, vintage, but also like quirky. And it's Prada and Miu Miu, and I've always had a soft spot for them. I don't own anything by this brand. Prada's a really core, like, brand. It's up there with the Vuittons, the Dior, the Fendi, the Gucci, but Prada often isn't like on the list, even though it's like got the traditional designs. But like you said, it's always got a twist. It's always got like a funk to it. It's a really clear, like, I think Prada gets a bit underrated at times. Yeah, same. I think it's underrated. And then I had, so I'm just going to list off some other brands.
that I am loving. One is a smaller brand. I think it's based in like South Africa, but it's called Machosa, like Xhosa, like the language. And they have the best knitwear and like patterns and designs. And it's just like print. And knitwear, and I love it. And then there's another brand, and she does like these really exotic like swimwear stuff. I've been following her for a while, and it's Andrea Iyama. Okay, that might be bad pronunciation, but her swimwear is really like pool party, and you need something that you're not actually going to get wet.
Yeah, it actually will say on the label you're not able to go and wash.
Yeah. Dry clean only. I don't know. Another brand that I am loving, I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's a brand called Pangea or Pangaya. I think it's Pangaya. I follow them on Instagram. I don't own any of their stuff. But it's just something I'm obsessed with. And it's like tracksuit bottoms, matching sweatshirt, and they do t-shirts and stuff, like complete loungewear, but in these bright colors, like bright yellow, bright green, and you can get the matching sets. And if there was ever a label for quarantine, it's this brand. That's what I'd be living in, just different combinations of outrageous colors. Yeah, awesome. That's my pick.
So those are your top 4.
I think I only said 3. Oh, I did say 4. Yeah.
You did.
Okay.
It's okay. It's hard to choose. It's so hard.
Yeah, I have more answers like that.
That's okay.
One.
Right,
okay,
what's
so
our next topic?
Let's do.
Like you're a DJ. Like you're the DJ of like this conversation.
I know. Okay, what's the most expensive item that you have bought fashion related?
So this is difficult because I would assume it would maybe be one of the bags that I've got, and I've never bought a bag full price. It's only ever been from like a sample sale or from companies that I've worked for. So actually, I've actually never paid that much for a bag.
Yeah, same. This is my exact answer.
In the grand scheme of things. So I actually don't know if it is a bag, because I think the most I've maybe spent on a bag is like 150 quid. And I'm talking like bags worth like £750, like, or potentially more. Like, I don't think I've paid all that much for them. So I actually think the most expensive thing I own are leather Chanel espadrilles. I got them off eBay. They were like an old season thing. They're black leather, and then they've got like studded metal studs that do the C's. And yeah, I bought those a few years ago.
Oh, I'm learning so much about wardrobe, Scarlett. I didn't even know that you
I don't wear them that often.
I didn't.
They definitely, one of them needs like a stretch, but I'm really worried to do that because I don't want to ruin them.
You should take it to the boutique and let them.
Yeah, but I didn't buy it from the boutique.
Oh, it doesn't matter, mate. My mum bought a Louis Vuitton bag off eBay one time, and it didn't come with a duster bag. And at the time, I was working in a department store, and I was like, can I get a duster bag? They gave me one. Okay, amazing. I didn't go in saying it like that.
Yeah. What's yours?
Yeah, basically my answer is just like yours, because I've worked for leather goods companies and stuff and other brands. I've bought stuff with staff discount or in sample sales, or as you said, like eBay and things like that. The most expensive bag I bought was like £160, and that was because it was in sale, and I bought it off the American website, and I got my cousin to send it to me. So it was like next level, like hustling. I really don't think I've spent more than this on clothes. Yeah, I'm not like ridiculous shopper, but it was a Michael Kors bag, and it was denim, and it's got like chevrons, and it's like frayed denim. It's very like 70s looking. Actually, not even 7. Like, we could even say Justin and Britney. Like,
well, they feature a bit later on.
Really? Oh my God, I know what you're gonna. Yeah, I know what that one's for.
Amazing. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I think I'm the same. I don't really spend that much money on stuff, and also I think it's that thing of we're around fashion a lot, so I definitely love and enjoy fashion and appreciate fashion. And don't get me wrong, if I had the money, I'd be spending like a hot like dollar on Net-a-Porter. But I also come from the stance of I know that it doesn't cost that much, like, and so I've never paid full price for like an expensive item, so I really begrudge doing that.
I agree. When you work in retail as well, you know someone who works for another brand, or you know someone who works for like one of these like brand retailers. I used to work for one, discounts on stuff, and like, so you almost start just solely buying into the brand that you actually work for, and that's how you get all this stuff for super cheap. But then I think it's really important to mention things like that, because when you watch YouTubers and they have these hauls, a lot of them are like really, really wealthy, but let's be real, like, to some extent, if they're not buying their stuff with a discount, they are foolish, because this stuff is expensive. And I wouldn't want people to think like it's normal to be able to like buy Hermes and Chanel and all this stuff full price, because it's so much money.
And also, like, I often think this with like, I've got a ridiculous bag collection, but it's not because I've got lots of money. I used to get given a bag if it wasn't going to go to market and they weren't going to use it, and if I said I liked it, like, I would sometimes be given it, or in a sample sale you get given something. I got given one when I interned at a company. Like, I've definitely like what my bags might say definitely isn't what I spend on stuff, and like you said, I have a whole feeling about influencers and transparency on what they spend on stuff.
I mean, maybe we should do some investigating.
Oh my God. We should like start contacting some, see what discounts they want or how much they want to be paid for something. Undercover cops.
So. Next one. I mean, we're only like 4 in and I've like lost track of the ones I've asked.
It's okay. I can say if we've already done it or not.
Okay. Next one. Okay. What should we go for? Okay. What is your favorite red carpet moment?
Right. Okay. I have sort of 2 answers for this.
Hold on, Scarlett's just reshuffling. You could.
Sorry, you could probably hear like the bin lorry outside, so I'm just trying to mute that. Technical difficulties. So I have 2 sort of answers. I have one of the most iconic moments sort of that comes to mind is the Britney Justin double denim.
Oh,
just like travesty. Like that is something like, if you think, because like it's just a standout moment, I just think it's kind of like, well, I mean, it will stand the test of time. I'm sure there'll be Halloween outfits of it for years to come. We will reference it if anyone ever turns up to the Met Ball or the Met Gala in denim. Like, that picture will come out. But I think my favorite, like, classy, just think it's a really nice moment, or more dress and look, was actually Jennifer Lawrence at her, I think it was the 2011 Oscars. She was in that red Calvin Klein dress, and she just looked, it was super simple, just a simple red dress, and she looked incredible. And it was just kind of that no frills, just really kind of like simple, plain, but she just looked stunning. And I quite like that it was minimal, but made like a big impact. And actually, I think that...
Yes.
It was when she was like just coming onto the scene.
Really simple silhouette.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
And she's got like Farrah Fawcett type hair as well.
She just looks great. Like and she's got a great figure. Like, and also that was when she had like a less of a Hollywood figure. Like she had like some nice curves then, and she just looked amazing. Yeah.
She does. It is a good one. Yeah, she does look incredible. So like easy. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
What's yours?
That's a good one. So mine is Rihanna CFDA with the sequin, that pink sheer sequin dress, like floor length dress. And she had the matching like headscarf, and then nips out. And she had that pink fluffy stole. Yeah. And I Googled it because I wanted to like know what event that was, and I can't remember, but it was designed by Adam Selman, and there was like 230,000 Swarovskis on it, and they had to like do them by hand. And it was it's kind of like your Jennifer Lawrence. It's such a simple silhouette. It's actually kind of similar in that sense. But it was pretty ballsy to come up. I mean, the likes of Cher has done it before, like to go on a red carpet with your nips out. Yeah. But it was bold. But I just think like it had the matching gloves, like everything was that one fabric, and it just so glittery.
Good with her like the hat or like the headpiece,
the scarf. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think the whole look. She pulled it off. Obviously, she pulled it off really well. Yeah,
it was a good one. It's like it's the ones that where they make it look easy, that it was put together, are the best ones, I think.
Yeah, when they don't look like they've maybe been sat in a makeup chair and in a fitting for like the best part of like the entire week, you know.
Yeah. Next question. I'm gonna choose. Okay, let's get into a juicy one, because we have a lot to say about this, and we actually need a whole episode to fully discuss our views on fashion competition shows. Oh. Okay, so there's been lots of fashion-related competition shows, whether it's The Face, whether it's America's Next Top Model, Britain's Next Top Model. We've had, Making the Cut. We've had, what's that one with Tan Franson?
No,
I can't remember. Let's see, that's us. There's just been a good few, and they've gone on for years, and there's so much money at stake, but they're horrendous for the most part.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love watching them, but when it comes to like what we're sort of, I guess, referring to like the fashion element, like, you know, the kind of the Project Runway sort of thing or whatever, and the things they come up with, you're like, you would never make it. Like, there's a reason clothes don't look like that, you know. Like, I don't know. It makes me think of like an end of year like uni show, you know, where like there's always that person who just wants the shock factor of like being innovative, but like I'm definitely that kind of a person where like, yes, you can have innovative stuff that shows off how creative and how well you can pattern cut or whatever, but at the end of the day, what do most people wear? Like you have to appeal to like that as well. This is really hard for me because I'm really not a big enjoyer of the craftsmanship on these shows. Don't get me wrong, I do love a Project Runway.
My view, my view on these is that I hate the fact that they have, I know they do this for like TV factor, but I hate the fact that they give them like 2 days to design and make a couple of outfits or one look, and it drives me nuts because the fashion industry is fast paced, but it's so wasteful because they end up making something which is so mediocre, so poorly put together. They've wasted that fabric and they've like wasted those resources. They've not even had the chance to really explore their imagination and like develop an idea, and it's a waste of time. They might as well just give them like a week and a half and like let them actually come up with something you know, worth it, a reflection of their skill. Ugh. Anyway.
But what's your they normally use like fabric shops or like their fabric wall or whatever are just the most like fabric is everything. I'm telling you that now. Your materials are everything. You can't polish a turd. If your fabric's crap, like your outfit's going to be crap. And they always have very like simple fabrics. Anyway, I could rant for hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I'm going to give an honourable mention because it's technically not like a fashion one. I'm going to give honourable mention to RuPaul because that is my happy place. And there are some tasks where they make fashion items. So, you know, that's my honourable mention and trying to like cheat the system. I'm going to go with the Great British Sewing Bee. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. It's British for one. There's loads of these sort of British programs. There's one for pottery. There's one for baking, you know. And also I think they're not trying to be fashion designers. It's people who like sewing and they're doing a sewing competition. They're not trying to be doing their application to be a fashion designer. So there's sort of a nice element to that for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I need to watch that because that wasn't on my radar at all.
I tell you, the dresses or the things they create are shocking.
Oh, really? They're that bad?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I must watch this. Okay, so mine it's a recent one and it's making the cut.
No!
Is my choice because it really did entertain me, and I really feel you can see where Amazon was trying to like one up that one that Net-a-Porter did with Tam France, and they were like throwing money at this competition, and they were taking them to Paris and then Japan the other day, and then the next day they were going to like some next other like South Korea, and then the next day they were going to some other place, and then the prize was like $1 million, and it literally they money at the show. It was comical. Of course, Naomi Campbell, when she was a guest judge, stole the show. Like she was just kicking off. Of course, that's why they hire her to do that sort of thing. But making the cut, I disagree with who won. That's another thing with these shows, and I think it probably differs when you have whether it's American or it's like British or like European centric. Is the American designers tend to be like very commercial, and you sometimes look at the stuff and you're like,
so.
Yeah, and you're like, I could get that in Zara, mate. It's a pair of shorts with a pleat in it. It's not. Oh, anyway, that's how I felt about the winner. It was like it was a Zara knockoff, but yeah, I'm kidding. Some bits were good, some bits were not so good, but yeah, making the cut, I did enjoy it actually. Heidi Klum, she's a very cute personality, and she has looks. I have to say, her stylist, I quite liked it. It was quite fun. You ready for the next one?
Oh, I'm ready. We've got my worst one out of the way.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is kind of more of a straightforward one. What kind of sources and publications and like digital media do you tend to go for? What are your favorites?
Right. Well, we've probably got pretty similar ones here. One thing I'll say, when I was at uni, I used to use a lot of WGSN, but actually nowhere I've worked has ever had like a subscription to there. So that's definitely a great one if you're at a more trend-based company, or if you're at uni, it's definitely a great resource. And then I would say my two sort of go-to are the Business of Fashion for what's kind of going on in the job market. They advertise jobs there, so you know, like that's where you can look for jobs, but also you kind of get the headlines of what's kind of the most important things or topical things going on in the industry. And
then, like they have their like breaking news.
Yeah, and I think it's quite like you get a quick snippet, and it's quite nice to sort of know. And then I would say Vogue, just because you get all the show stuff. And yeah, that's the pretty much now the only place you really get show photos. There used to be a few websites, but it's kind of, I feel like Vogue seems to have some exclusive rights to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can believe
not like
that as well.
Officially, but I feel like there definitely used to be like I feel like it was like a style.com used to have loads of like great photos of fashion shows. But
so I'm pretty sure that style.com was owned by Vogue, like the whole Condé Nast.
Yeah, probably. Empire. I don't know where.
So that makes sense. But yeah, good options. I agree with you. I feel the same. Business of Fashion is definitely a go-to. I have a subscription, so I think they do come out with some good pieces. Then I do like also, when it comes to like retail stuff, I like to know like the nerdy figures. Like if something's been like up on a year or like down on a year, I just like to read stuff about that sometimes. So I've recently started reading McKinsey and Company. They are like statisticians and like, but they do like with business related stuff, and they kind of send you an email about retail, the dire state of retail in 2020, basically. So I read their stuff occasionally, and also has to be on Instagram, Diet Prada. Diet Prada is just here to like just expose and slag off as many people as possible. So it's like comic value. Those are my choices. Next question. Have you got a style, fashion, shopping related small business that is kind of be on your radar and that you think they're doing some cool stuff?
I do. I'm not sure how small this brand is, but because I think it's grown quite quickly recently with probably the help of a few influencers. But it's a brand called Suzanne.
Okay.
And basically it started as like a vintage online marketplace where this lady would sell, like the owner would sell her old vintage sort of clothing or stuff that she found. But then it sort of became that she created designs almost based off of some of the vintage clothes that she liked. And so they're kind of like 70s jumpsuits, like kind of like nice sort of pieces. But the thing that's really quite cool is that they have very limited numbers of what they produce because they don't want to be wasteful. And like, that's just kind of like their sort of ethos. I don't own anything from them, but cool. I love the style of the stuff.
That's so
I would
cool.
just look like a goober though, probably, but yeah.
Definitely tag them in our show notes.
I will do.
Check that out. Yeah, mine is a brand. Now I think it's from like the Netherlands or something, but it's Tija Damen, and it's this lingerie brand, and they are quite a small business. I think they're quite popular, just judging by their like online social presence, but it's still a small business, and they do like these bodysuits. They're very like, it's not a bodysuit you can just put a blazer on over the top and like go down the street. It's not. It's very exposing, but the lace is beautiful and the shapes and silhouettes are really original. And they've got really cool photography. I think all their photography is like untouched, like it hasn't been retouched.
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, if you were to start a small brand or something, that like level of quality in terms of like what they put out there always seems really well thought out, and like photography is beautiful, and yeah, really cool. Again, I don't own anything like that because I don't have any pressing need for like a €200 lacy bodysuit. But when I do,
that's where you'll go. Amazing. Like you said, we'll tag them in the show notes and on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay, next one. So I'm gonna go with, following on from that, okay, who's your favorite fashion influencers? People that you're loving and that give you daily inspo. I have 3. Like I couldn't choose one.
Miranda. Right. Okay. Well, I've chosen one, and to be honest, they've been my favorite for a while. I go through like love-hate relationships with a lot of, I guess, influencers that I follow, where you kind of get to a point sometimes where you get a little bit sick and tired of how much free stuff they get. And then you kind of want as many new things as them, or want those things. And you're like, oh, you got gifted that £300 dress. But yeah, so I kind of often drop my influences a little.
I think you have to be selective. A lot of like the really popular ones that I don't feel are particularly original, I don't follow those ones, because I'm like, I really have to like love what you're doing and not just follow you because you're popular, you know? Exactly.
So I really like she's a Manchester-based influencer called Megan Ellaby, and she's just really cute. She's got a really funky way of dressing. She puts like a lot of color in her outfits, a lot of prints. Like I kind of wish that I could kind of be that ballsy often. And so it's quite like, I quite like seeing. I know, but it's just not naturally, you know, like what I would reach for. But then she's got a sister called, I think, Faye, who equally is like really cool, got a really quirky style. But also this girl, Megan's got like she's created a brand off of her, like, I guess, popularity or influence. So she's got like a little, it started with knitwear. But yeah, I just think she's quite cool, and she seems pretty down to earth, considering like there's a lot of people wanting to know what she wears on a daily basis. I quite like her.
Cool. I love the bright colors, and like that reminds me of one of the influencers I chose for today, because I feel like everyone can put an all black outfit together, but you know, those ones who really are putting those wild combinations and making it look good, or at least making it look fun, like they're enjoying their clothes,
having fun with their clothing and their wardrobe.
So mine is the first one, Marathia Dawson, and I think she's based in the Netherlands, and she's just like, she's always got like multicolored nails with like smiley faces. She's got like, I mentioned her in previous episode, where she's got like all these like Chanel bags, but like the orange one and like the tie-dye one and like the cool combinations, and she does like the eBay and the pre-loved things for her bags. Brightly colored, wild prints. I wouldn't wear everything that she owns, but like I really appreciate her like zest for like fashion and stuff. So she's really cool. And she's also got kids, and I'm like, how do you find the energy? Then the next one, her handle is called Slip Into Style, but her name is Ellie. And she is like from Martinique, but like lives in Paris. And she's got like a very cute style as well. And like she does really cool combinations. It's not as wild as Marianne, but similar sort of thing, like different colors and patterns and stuff like that. And then my last one is her name is Tamu McPherson, and I think she's an American, but she lives in Italy, so she goes to like all the Milan shows and stuff. And she is just like, I feel like she lives the wealthy lifestyle. Does that make sense? You know, when you have like influencers and they get pop and then they get more money and then they start experiencing that lifestyle, I feel like this is just her normal life. Do you know what I mean? And she just has to have all this designer shit. She'd be wearing it regardless of whether it was gifted or not. And she just lives that like Italian designer luxurious lifestyle. But yeah, she's cool. Those are my top three, and those ones are like I stan for.
That's cool that we like, it's funny that we kind of both gone for people who we sort of like the way that they are fun with their clothing, and almost like inspire you to like want to do that a bit more, or be like, oh, I would never have like thought that, or didn't know that brand existed, and they introduce you to stuff, and like it's always fun.
I mean, in the world of like Instagram, where everyone is, I say not everyone, because obviously you get like sub factions and trends and stuff, but everyone has to wear like bicycle shorts and like tailored blazers and like just like the whole boohoo look, have like BBLs and like lip fillers, and like there's a really defined like aesthetic, like a mainstream social media aesthetic, that it's not that creative. It's not like anyone can say they like shopping if all your clothes is from Topshop. Like, it's very easy. But those people who go out their way to like really find their personal style, I think they're the best ones.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, they're not fitting into the mold. And like, sure, they might like get on board with some micro trends or whatever, but like also I don't know, people that I follow tend to be like a similar age to me, I guess, where then they're not so inclined to do like the bicycle shorts trend, because I don't think I'd turn up to any event where that's what my friends would be wearing. Like,
yeah. I'm not against the bicycle short, you know. I love a short. I'm wearing them right now, but but I don't need like, you know, the bicycle short with like the blazer and then those like really, really strappy shoes.
Yeah, or like those like sock boots. Either or.
Yeah, it's just like, it's boring now, you know?
Yeah.
I probably wear it, but it's not like something I need to follow. Don't need to learn how to put those things together.
You only need to maybe follow one person who dresses like that. You don't need a whole army of them.
Exactly. And they're like, their whole grid is just like nudes and beige colours.
Yeah. Neutrals.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. What is an item that is on your radar that you're like, someone gave me £3,000 right now, what I'm buying?
Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. What? I've been weighing this up for a little while. I'm gonna like, you know.
Okay.
And now you
trust
sort
me, I already know. This was like the easiest question for me.
Well, because I think for me it would probably be a bag. And like, one of my most coveted things for sure is having a Chanel handbag at some point in my life.
Yeah.
But that's not something I expect to kind of have in the next year or so. And also, it's something that I actually want to earn. So I wouldn't want to just be given money and go, like, I want to earn that in some like
okay
aspect.
we can take that aspect out of the question. But like, what are you coveting right now?
Right now, I'm really into shoes, and I think I would want, it's a toss up between some Gucci loafers, the ones that are embellished with the B. I've been wanting since they came out, or like a little Gucci Marmont heel. I quite like the mule, but I think I'd probably go for like the sort of shorter block heel as like an everyday sort of like, could be a sort of office shoe / like a bit easier to walk around in and negotiate life. But I feel like that's something that, but I'm also very aware that Gucci's having a moment, and that's potentially like coming to like
gonna fade.
Yeah. So will I be that excited to have like those shoes in? I don't know, but that's my vibe right now.
Okay,
that's my regular eBay search.
Okay, I'm definitely on that same line of thought, because a bag, I don't need any bags, Lord knows I have enough, but I would buy a bag. It is Gucci, and it's the 1955 Horsebit crossbody bag.
Okay.
In that's the name of it, guys. You can Google it. And it's in the it's in the what is it called? Monogram.
Yeah, monogram. Yeah. Not a monochrome.
And it's like a satchel crossbody bag. It's got like 3 compartments on the inside. I just love it. It just looks really like vintage, and it happened. And I know it's a bag that I would love for a while, because it's like, you know, those like brown bags that kind of look a bit heritage. Like they're not, it's not something that's going to be like particularly out of fashion, because it's not driven by a particular trend. It's not that like outlandish. So I would get that. Okay, we are getting to the end. soon. Next one is, I think this is our last one. This is our 10th one. Yeah. It's our favorite fashion film.
The one that I've chosen is a really similar concept. It kind of just shows the process of designing a show. And it's the Dior and I documentary with Raf Simons.
Yes. Classic.
When I say I love that collection, like, I truly love it. I loved the architecture of the building that they did the show in. I loved the way that the interiors were done with the flower walls. I loved seeing his, like, quite an honest portrayal, I guess, of a designer. I just thought it was a really, really cool film. And
it was. That is one of my choices as one of.
Well, I just think it's, if you love fashion, it makes you love and appreciate the art of what people do. Like, those seamstresses are incredible. Like, the stuff that they do, and just how, you know, they're all just really professional, really, I don't know. I've got so much time. Like, I would love to be working in the French atelier. Oof.
Yeah. I agree. Like, because Raf Simons wasn't at Dior for very long.
No.
But that collection, I think, really cemented him as being like one of the best. Like, he came in and really, like, left his mark. I think the collection is beautiful, but it also, in that documentary, you got to see how stressful and all consuming it is to pull off something like that. And like, what a designer is expected to come in and do when you come into work for, like, the most successful fashion house. You know, kind of, you have to, like, link the past, you know, Christian Dior's legacy, and somehow tie it in with, like, what you want to do at the brand. It was really interesting. My other two options are more like for its cultural relevance.
Okay.
So obviously we got to say Sex and the City, the first film. I think it's like the looks and things. It's not, the fashion in those films is not something we get to see all the time in modern day films.
I also love that they give each girl, or like each character, like their own distinct style. And like, there's just, they do so much with the clothing in it. Like, some of it, I was watching the second film the other day, and some of the outfits are like, what is going on? But like you said, there's just not many films that are that playful with fashion and let fashion really, like, be an identity.
Exactly. I think it's like, you get that brave when you have, like, all this extra money to just throw at clothes. You're like, oh, why not? Let me try it. Like, I live in a bubble. I live in a cultural bubble already, because all these women are, like, very successful. And so you just, like, why not? Like, who cares? I'm just going to wear this to get away with it. But then, okay, so my last choice, I was watching this film recently, and the film is Men Prefer Blondes, and it's with Marilyn Monroe, and for the life of me cannot remember the other co-star, but it's filmed in the 1950s, and I don't know if you've seen a lot of films from that era, like the golden Hollywood era. Obviously they weren't as technically advanced in terms of filmmaking, but everyone is so polished and everyone looks incredible. And the outfits the two main characters, the women, wear, like, honestly, like, their looks could be worn today. And, like, down to, like, the color of their nail polish changes depending on, like, what outfit they're wearing. And, like, all the accessories they have and the silhouettes they wear, and a lot of the stuff is applicable today and looks just as glamorous and amazing today. The hair, the styling, the like everything's like steamed and pressed to like perfection. And yeah, they're supposed to be quite like very charismatic, quite ahead of their time women in a sense. They're very independent as female characters.
Yeah.
And think, you know what, I would go as far to say that like oh my god, what's her face in Sex and the City, the one who's like really sex positive, what's her name?
Samantha.
I always want to say something else. Samantha, you can see how the other actress in Men Prefer Blondes, how that is a direct like influence to Samantha's character. She's like very bold but very like free with her like relationships with men as well. Yeah. So that was all 10.
For 10.
Yeah. Hopefully that was good listening to. Different format for this week. We didn't have any fashion stories. We just thought we'd do something different.
Yeah, I enjoyed today's episode.
Same. And I also learned that you are really big into Air Force Ones, which I didn't realise.
Yep.
And we hope you liked this episode, guys.
Yeah.
I've been Mim.
I've been Scarlett.
And we'll see you next week.
Toodles.
See you guys.